Okay, Dylan, I brought 2 books today, and I have this one, and it's about a giraffe who's moving. It's called Geraldine. And then I brought this one called Rufus Goes to School, and it's about a pig who wants to go to school. So I'm going to give you the choice of which book you want, and then I'm going to read that to you. Okay? Which one do you want?
Rufus Goes to School.
Okay.
Rufus.
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 Okay. So, this book is called Rufus Goes to School by Kim T. Griswold, and it's illustrated by Valerie Gorbachev. Now, do you know what this is called?
The front page?
The front cover.
Oh, the front cover.
Okay. And do you know what this is called?
The back cover.
Right. And this?
The spine.
Spine. Right. So when we open the book, we see a picture, but this isn't the cover page. This is the cover page. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So if you want to ask me any questions, just go like this and you can ask me a question, okay?
Okay.
Rufus Goes to School. Every day, Rufus Leroy Williams III turned the pages of his favorite book. He looked at every picture. He made up stories to go with them, but he could not read the words. Look, all of his friends are playing and all he wants to do is read. That's a good thing. Rufus knew just what he had to do. He would go to school and learn to read, but first he needed a backpack. See the bus coming. Early the next morning, Rufus scuttled down the street to school. He peeked through the front door. Look at how supportive his friends are. They followed him to school. Then he trotted down the hall to the principal's office. He was greeted by the principal's secretary. Principal Lipid's secretary knocked on his door. "There's a pig to see you." Rufus stepped forward. "My name is Rufus Leroy Williams III," he said. "I have a backpack and I am ready for school." The principal shook his head. "No pigs in school." "Why not?" asked Rufus. Why do you think he's not going to let him in?
Cause you have to be a kid to go to school, but you don't judge something by its gender. Anything.
You mean its species?
Yeah, its species.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, let's see why he says. "Because pigs track mud in the halls," said Principal Lipid. "They turn their drawings into airplanes. They play leapfrog in class, and they start food fights in the cafeteria."
Pigs don't do that.
Rufus frowned. "But I have a backpack." "Makes no difference," said Principal Lipid, and he showed Rufus to the door. How do you think Rufus feels?
Sad.
Yeah. Rufus Leroy Williams III really wanted to go to school, and he knew just what he needed. A lunchbox. Where do you think he got that idea from?
Those kids. Those 4 friends. Those 4 friends.
The kids?
Yeah, they said those 4 friends.
Right before lunchtime, the secretary poked her head into Principal Lipid's office. "The pig is back," she whispered. "My name is Rufus Leroy Williams III," he said, "and I have a backpack and a lunchbox. I am ready for school." The principal folded his arms. "No pigs in school." "Why not?" asked Rufus. "Because pigs knock over the block towers," said Principal Lipid, "and they hide under the teacher's desk." Pigs draw stick figures on the chalkboard. He waggled his finger at Rufus. And they chase their classmates during recess. Is that nice? That he's saying that Rufus will do all these things?
No, at my old school, we used to draw on the chalkboard, and because the teacher let us, and we had a pig for a class pet. And
you had a pig for a class pet?
Yeah, at my old school we did, and so it didn't knock over the block top, or it didn't hide under a desk. It sat right next to me.
So what do you think? The principal's being
mean, and every time when
unfair.
And every time when the pig came to me, I gave him something to eat, cause the teacher was lazy and didn't buy him pig food.
Okay, let's go on and see what happens. But I have a backpack and a lunchbox, Rufus frowned. Makes no difference, said Principal Lipid, and he waved Rufus out the door. Rufus Leroy Williams III really, really wanted to go to school, and he knew just what he needed. A blanket!
You need a blanket for nap time.
During nap time, the secretary opened Principal Lipid's door. Sir? Rufus Leroy Williams III rushed past her. I have a backpack, a lunchbox, and a blanket, and now I am really ready for school. The principal sighed. I told you, no pigs. Wait, said Rufus. I will never blow bubbles in my milk or finger paint my classmates. I will not stand on my head during nap time or leave nose prints on the windows, and I will come to school every day. Sorry, the principal shook his head. No pigs in school. But I have a backpack, a lunchbox, and a blanket, said Rufus. Is that all? Asked the principal. Rufus frowned. What else could he need for school? I have this. Rufus held up his favorite book, and I want to learn to read it. Ah, Principal Lipid smiled. That makes a difference. He escorted Rufus out of his office and down the hall. He finally got in school. This is Rufus Leroy Williams III, Principal Lipid announced as they entered a classroom, and he will be joining your class. Hooray! Shouted the boys and girls. Rufus Leroy Williams III put away his backpack, his lunchbox, his blanket, and his favorite book. He was ready for school. How do you think he feels?
Happy.
Happy? How do you think the other kids feel?
Glad because they never got a new classmate before.
A new classmate or a classmate that's a pig?
Oh, a classmate that's a pig.
Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Would you want a classmate that's a pig?
Well, I'll go for a dog.
Okay. Rufus loved learning the ABCs, especially the letter P. He loved learning the 1, 2, 3s. He loved lunchtime and nap time. Look, he's got friends. But Rufus loved story time most of all. Because it gave him room to dream. Isn't that cute? Mm-hmm. The end. Okay. Do you have any questions for me? Mm-hmm.
So when he first came to school, and when the principal and Rufus asked him, "Can I go to school?"
Mm-hmm.
He said, "No pigs allowed." But he wanted to go to school because he didn't know. He didn't know that he had a book, and the pig said he wanted to read it. He wanted to learn how to read,
Mm-hmm.
And so the principal let him in, all because he said he wanted to read.
Mm-hmm.
But all those times he had a backpack, a lunchbox, a blanket. He could have let him in already.
Yeah. See, I think he didn't say that he wanted to read at first, but the principal was still kind of mean about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the moral of the story is when you want to learn really badly, people are more enthusiastic about teaching you. And we should be excited to go to school because it teaches us brand new things every day, right?
Right.
All right, Dylan. Well, thank you very much for letting me read to you.
You're welcome.